least favorite thing. Heights. I hate bridges. I hate bridges. I was just gonna drive quietly in silence, but damn it, I almost have a panic attack going over a bridge. Oh my goodness. Look at this big ass bridge coming up. My goodness. I'm on a road trip helping a friend trailer some stuff to Texas. We're in 3 separate trucks, and I took off for the week just to help a friend. And oh, look at the bridge, brother. Look at the bridge. Sometimes when we're driving, I'm like, honey, you take over. And traffic on a bridge. Oh. This doesn't look like, some of the New York bridges that are just, I don't know how high it is. I have no idea what bridge I'm going over. Looking at my map, I'm on whatever. I'm in Louisiana. Oh, goodness gracious. You guys don't know. Oh. I don't know anything that gives me the amount of, I don't even know what it is, adrenaline or nervousness, other than going over a bridge, or maybe being on the back of a motorcycle, which I only did one time. But driving a motorcycle over a bridge would probably be the number one. Even though I have a motorcycle endorsement, I'm just not very good on a motorcycle. I'm pretty good on a quad, 4-wheeler, that kind of thing. But look, goodness gracious, I don't even know what we could see here. In high school, there were friends that would jump off the Robert Moses Causeway. There's a bridge there. And I was like, yeah, good, have fun. I'm not doing that. But as the years have gone by, I've become more nervous of heights. As a young child, I'd climb things, I'd jump, I'd climb buildings, da-da-da. But as I've gotten older, the heights, I don't know, it just bothers me. I don't like the plane. I did like the helicopter recently. I haven't been in a helicopter in years, but there was something about it that I literally thought about getting a pilot's license. But yeah, let's have slow traffic as Roger drives over the bridge. I got my little thing to cut myself out, break the glass, and cut my seatbelt off if this thing goes down. Son of a gun. My wife laughs every time we go over a bridge because she just sees like I tighten up, but yeah. At least I'm moving. It looks like it's over. The hard part's over. Like I said, it's not one of those crazy bridges that are miles and miles long at ridiculous heights and with potholes and stuff. Like, I don't know, the upper bridge in New York, it's got the 2 or 3 tiers, and that thing scares the heck out of me. Scares the heck out of me. Let's see where my nav is taking me. Let's see. Beautiful day. Louisiana is a different place. I came here earlier this year. French Quarter had a DUI seminar, and the wife and I and the in-laws, even though my mother-in-law was kind of unsteady on her feet, like, we were there with her. Food's good, but it's like a different personality. It's when you meet people from Louisiana, there's something about them. It's not just the accent. It's almost like a style. It's almost like I guess a cultural difference, right? You live in different parts of the country, and people talk a little bit different, dress a little bit different, different music. But this year I enjoyed it. Back when we went a long time ago, after I left Alabama, I went and played semi-pro for 1 year, and went to Louisiana, and I didn't really like it. That was a long time ago. My goodness. Hadn't been back in years, and then recently went, and I enjoyed it. There was walking around, seeing things, lots of people, different activities, music all the time. But also I could see the lack of, or what appeared to be the lack of, it was dark. I guess that was just the only way to say it, because I don't know what people's faith or beliefs are. But sometimes, like being around Bourbon Street and all that, it seems a little dark. Other times, like stopping in the restaurants and walking around was, kind of fun. But I could also see the dark side of it. And there's like a different level of poverty too in Louisiana. I went into some neighborhoods. I always venture off into different places, and it's just different. Unfortunately, no way I could read anything. Not going to try. I don't want to be safe, so I'll just ramble. I tried to get the Zoom thing to work. I was going to put it on Zoom and then just let random people come on and ask questions, criminal and personal injury law. That was what my goal was, but when I pulled over for barbecue, I couldn't figure out how to do it. It showed me on YouTube how to do it on a desktop, but I don't know how to get my Zoom to go live on YouTube using the mobile app, and I didn't spend too much time looking at it, but that's my goal. And when I get to Texas on my way back, I'm probably going to do that, because if I'm just talking to people and I can hear voices, then it's wonderful, but I can't read text. I don't want it to be a distraction in regards to my driving. But, hearing people's voices and having a conversation, asking questions, it kind of kills some time. I just listened to a book on Audible, Sudden Death? I think that was called. About a lawyer who takes on a case that his dad had originally prosecuted many years ago. His dad was the prosecutor on a death penalty case, and the gentleman was on death row for 7 years, and his father said, why don't you take the appeal? And he's like, looks at his father like, huh? And I guess you could argue there could be some conflict, but you're not your dad. So I was like, yeah, I'll go along with it. And it ultimately, this guy ends up representing this gentleman on death row who he doesn't think he did it, but there's a lot of evidence. There's a witness that sees him standing over a body. There's DNA evidence. There's scratches on him. But he's impaired. He has no recollection of anything that happened. So he can't say that he for sure didn't do it, and putting him on the stand would be a waste of time, because he couldn't testify to his whereabouts and what he was doing or why he was in the alleyway. and they ultimately charge him, convict him, and then this son takes on the appeal, wins the appeal on a technical issue, and is granted a new trial. And yeah, I just enjoyed listening to it. It was like 6 hours. But it's a long drive from Palm Beach County to Texas, and I don't even know where I'm going in Texas. I got it in my GPS in case the three of us get split up, which we have. Had a blowout on my trailer, then had to fix that, then had to go to a garage this morning and get another tire mounted on a rim on the tire that blew out. So I already had some activity. Nothing like driving and all of a sudden you get a blowout and having to fix it on the side of the road. That was last night. So hopefully that doesn't happen today. That was really nice. When I looked to my right there for a second, there was those little tiny bridges and nice creek going through that. Pretty. I always thought my truck got pretty good gas mileage, right? So I got an F-150, and all I'm pulling is, I don't know, an 18-foot trailer, utility trailer, with a golf cart on it. That's it. Nothing major. Right now it says that well, it went up a little bit. It says 14.6 miles per gallon. I was down to 13, I guess, a couple hours ago. And I think I get between 20 and 25, maybe 21 normally. So it's a gas guzzler. But I just never realized, I've never pulled anything except local, you know, grabbing some plywood or some stuff from the hardware store, or trailering some bicycles or a golf cart or a dirt bike or something like that. Never realized the long trips, how much it impacts fuel economy. It's crazy. Right now it says 14 miles per gallon. I don't know. So if I can put.
This is my shit.
I've got.
And I feel like if they
Probably
want people
can't
to
do
know
that.
kids, they should let them watch them.
I don't think I can put anything on. All this copyright patent stuff. Can't even have stuff in the background, otherwise YouTube will kick it off. See, this part right here is boring driving. When you're going through a new city or there's something visual, but like just like I-95, it's blah, just like the turnpike, blah. It's always nice when you're coming into a big city and you know, you see, like if you're going from the Bay Area and you're going into the city, or when you're going into New York City and you're, even though I'm not a big bridge guy, but when you're coming in, you just see such beautiful, the structures, the buildings, it's just nice, the lights. I get bored with this kind of driving. I wonder how truck drivers do it. I mean, if they're driving, what do they do? 12-hour shifts? I forget what the shifts are for the CDL. Is it you can't do more than 10 hours or 12 hours, something like that. I think it's like 10 or 12 hours. I think it'd be nice to go to different places. That part's cool, but just the way traffic is and how people cut in front of trucks, I don't know. It seems you really got to be alert, obviously, if you're driving 80,000 pound vehicle. I could pronounce that if I wanted to. Gas is a lot cheaper over here. It's like $2.59 or something. Last gas station. Compared to like Jupiter, it's like 4 something a gallon. It's crazy. I don't feel like anyone regulates that. They can just put their own price and you don't even know. It's a fuel truck. I haven't seen one of those since I was a kid. I don't really see that in Florida. In New York, like we would have a furnace that burned oil, so we used a company called Fermi. I ended up going to school. Oh, what was her name? I can't think of her first name. Nice girl. Her dad or family owned that company, so her last name was Fermi, obviously, but and they would do the deliveries to our house. Good business. Carry the oil, hook the hose up, dispose, add the oil to the house, and then dip. Sometimes I think that would be a nice occupation, something where it's sure. You get your activity, but not overwhelming in regards to like the brain. Trying to figure stuff out. I've been working on a big case in a far land recently, and just the amount of time putting into understanding what's going on with the case, and like understanding the facts and understanding the participants and understanding what the crime is and the allegations. And so it's, just hour on top of hour, really trying to organize the materials, right? Sometimes it comes down to organization and discipline when you take on a big case. Sometimes you get thousands of documents, thousands of photographs, videos, hundreds. Had a case many years ago, it was an economic crimes case, and it was an attorney who floated somebody's money, meaning that they had money in their escrow account, and they basically wrote a check, which you're not allowed to do, right? You can't touch your client's money. They wrote a check out of their trust account and floated it. I think the way I made my argument was they floated it for 3 days, but they probably floated it for a week. Basically, it's like someone coming to your house and stealing your car for a week. They temporarily deprive the victim of the funds. And when I got the discovery, I remember it was like 4,000 something pages. It's like all accounting stuff. And I'm just thinking, like, this state attorney doesn't know this stuff. Like, there's no way. So I got, this is kind of cool, like this bridge, even though I hate bridges. It's not a high bridge, but I certainly wouldn't want to jump off of it. It looks like mud and slush. Probably some alligators up down there. Anyway, I remember thinking, like, there's no way the prosecutor knows all this stuff. So my dad was working in the office, and his background is accounting. He was always a controller for companies, and came in to help me towards the end of his career. And he's a dissector. He was dissecting, and then he could show me kind of what the guy did, how he did it, how he got caught. And I remember having a meeting at the state attorney's office, you know, kind of like what you imagine in a movie, but not as nice. You know, some shitty room at the state attorney's office with a long table with, you know, crappy chairs and the paint flaking. They're always making so much more glamorous in the TV and the movies. And I just remember breaking down, like showing the state, and even had a meeting with the victim. That might have been for depots. I think that was for depots, not just a meeting, but for a depot. And ultimately, my argument was like, it's no different than the bank. Like if you deposit a check, this was a few $100,000. If you deposit a check, like if I give someone a check for a couple, let's say $200,000, I give you guys a check for $200,000, and I give it to the bank, or I give it to you, you give it to your bank, and you give it to your bank on a Thursday. You know you don't have access to that money until like Tuesday or Wednesday the following week, right? It's all dependent on how the bank works and how good a client you are and how much money you have in your bank. But generally, the money's not available for 3 to 5 days. That's all the guy really did. Now it's available to the bank and they can use it for whatever money they want, but they've kind of set up the laws with, you know, the people that they've lobbied and do things so they can get away with what the average guy does. He gets arrested for. But anyway, it worked out. I forgot what happened on that case. Did I withdraw from that case, or did I get that case reduced? My goodness, that was so long ago, I don't remember. I think I got it reduced. Oh, that's what I did. I got it. So that's funny. In negotiations after my depot, after setting out, showing them the issue and saying basically it was a loan for 3 days or whatever it was, they said, okay, we'll agree to 3 years of probation. And I pushed for special condition upon completion of probation. Special condition upon payment of full restitution, defendant will automatically be terminated. So I walked up to the podium with my client, the state attorney, the judge, everybody in the room. Judge sentences my client to 3 years of probation, and metaphorically puts the gavel down. And then I stand there for 1 second, and the judge goes, Mr. Foley? I go, yeah, Judge, just one more thing. I have the check right here. So my client walked out of got 3 years probation, walked out of the room, and we went over to the probation office. We signed up. We handed him the check, and they dismissed, and he was on probation for an hour. So it worked out. Doesn't always work out that way, but that was kind of a fun thing because I had to keep that to my vest. As I was negotiating the terms of that, I knew that I already had a check coming, and we had it ready. So when I literally walked into court, I already had it like a trust fund check, a certified check. So good for him. Not good for him that he barred, temporarily deprived, because I would never do that, but I think that's some shady shit. But I had a client and I was paid to defend it. So on paper it looks like 3 years of probation, but he had a day. He paid all the money back. I was a little surprised that the state even went forward on that case, because surprised but not surprised. When you see economic crime cases with you dealing with $20,000 or above, a lot of times things like that that happens in the corporate world. You consider it white collar crime, and really that stuff tends to go away, right? Because if the money's paid back, what are they prosecuting? But if you temporarily, snag a bike from in front of 7-Eleven, and you drive in the parking lot and woo woo woo, when you get pulled over, well, guess what? You get charged with theft of a bicycle. You only had it for like 10 seconds. A lot of white collar crime is manipulation of money, theft of money, and depending on how they do it, it could be a RICO act or whatever, but there's a lot of shady stuff that goes on. I just can't imagine. I don't know what happened because I didn't handle the bar issue. I don't know if the guy got disbarred or not. It was an attorney. That was a long time ago. I don't know what happened to him. He got a day probation, but I don't know who defended him with the bar or how that process went. That I never really handled bar complaints. I've handled like nursing. I've handled the medical board, stuff like that. I've had nurses that have stolen medicine from their clients. It's just dark, right? Doctor prescribes 2 Oxycontins for someone who's in a car accident and they're sitting in they might be in traction, their leg up, their arm broken, have bandages on their head, looks like right out of a movie. And then the doctor says, okay, give him 2 oxycodons or 2 morphines every 6 hours for pain or as needed. And then the deceptive nurse goes, 1 for you, 1, 2 for me, and steals the medication. Pretty crappy. $12.8 on the fuel economy right now. Jeez. That just seems so crappy to me. My aunt and uncle have one of those pull trailers, like a big, I don't know how many feet it is, 20, 30, 40 feet. It's a bigger one, so probably like 30-ish. And they travel all over the country. And they're in their 70s. And all over the place, always traveling. They sold their home probably close to 20 years ago. And literally live in a trailer. Both former teachers in New York have a nice pension. So I think funds are, you live in a trailer, you drive a vehicle, you probably have it for 5, 6, 7 years, you sell it, buy a new one. I'm sure they're diesels. I think last one they had was a Dodge, like a 2500. And they got the 5th wheel and they pull this big trailer and get to see the world. They're always like on the West Coast, Utah, and all these different places. I don't know. Never realized how bad the gas mileage was. I wish my stuff could pan to the left and right. Beautiful river, lake, something I just passed over. How do you pronounce that? Youthful. I don't know. Another bridge. It's a long bridge. Like super long bridge. I'm just looking at the composition of the ground. And I guess some engineers said, you know what? Just build it up. It's too up and down, up and down. Oh, there's the high bridge. Oh, very pretty though. I don't think I'd go on my paddleboard, but don't want to get eaten by an alligator. But in a little like motorboat, that would be kind of cool. Very nice. Lake Bigao. I don't know how to say that. Looks kind of like a swamp. Give it that. A bunch of trees growing. Looks like mud water. I wonder how much different it is in the courtrooms in Louisiana, right? The laws are a lot different, I believe. that sign say? Car wreck, call Gordon, somebody. Must sell a hell of a lot of RVs. It's like thousands of them. I guess he just saw the truck. Like it magically appeared. Got big truck wreck. Give us a call. Louisiana's finest attorneys. You call us and we'll sniff out the money for you. So many billboards. I guess people just look at billboards and go, 1-800? Call a guy with a billboard. It's always personal injury too. Why doesn't a real estate lawyer or a commercial litigation attorney, why don't they advertise on billboards? Why don't you see that? They make gazillions of dollars, right? Why do you think you need a billboard? If you think about it, right? Like if you think about commercial litigation, right? It makes a lot of money. Like if you're a commercial litigation attorney, you're doing quite well. About a construction lawyer, attorney that does construction. Why is it that it's the billboard industry, the billboard advertising industry is dominated by personal injury guys? I tend to think because most personal injury guys aren't that good at trial, and they gotta dump $4,000 a month into a billboard because they don't have enough wins to get the word out. What about criminal defense lawyers? Beat your woman. Domestic violence charges. Call me. Call me. I'll set her straight. Like, were you drunk? Drunk and hitting every car in the parking lot? Crippled some folks? Call me. Like, were you in the mall? Were you in the mall and you just decided to steal every damn thing you saw? Call me. Just call me. Have you shot someone lately? Self-defense. Stand your ground. That's what we do. Just call me. Yeah, you don't really see those billboards, which is weird, right? I mean, the billboards themselves are weird. We're the biggest. So, the firm you know, the name you trust. I don't know them. Never heard that name before. Funny thing is, the name was so small I couldn't read it. Maybe I just drive around the country and talk about billboards. Just legal billboards. And then do research on each law firm. I get a kick at it. I saw, this is funny. Case, it's a person that was a state attorney, and they've probably been out of the state attorney's office for a year, maybe two, right? And average attorney, like nothing special, like nothing special at all, nothing bad, but nothing, little on the lazy side. And I see that, they left the state attorney's office and they opened a firm, and it's like the advertising, like the firm that other attorneys call on. And I'm like, huh? We've had proven results. And I'm like, buddy, your door's only been open for like a week or a month or a year. Well, in a week, month, or year, we've won everything. Like, it's just the advertising. It's what the bar's scared of. The way you advertise implies, what is this guy? MorrisBart.com. Injured? MorrisBart.com. Todd Clemens and Associates. I think your best course for having a successful business is word of mouth. Hoping that the people that you help put your name out there. Say, hey, I was really happy with him or her. They really did a fine job, and call them for other things. Back in the day, I don't know how many years ago, but a long time ago, before people specialized, people would say general law. I mean, I don't know how you could be good at that, but you'd have to know every area. It's kind of the equivalent of, an athlete being the top soccer player, the top baseball player, top football, top hockey, top combat sport. Like that doesn't exist. Um, but some of the advertising stuff, I remember when I first came out, I was trying to advertise, and my boss, one of my bosses, was not that like keen, never advertised. He ended up getting mad at me, and it's funny, his partner took me aside. I go, why is he so mad? He's like, because you probably bring in more money than he does, and you've only been an attorney for a year and a half. I was like, oh. So advertising can work, but I had bosses, I had people that knew how to do the work, so I could sell it and sell how good they were and bring in business. Problem is if you're, state attorney going, what happened next? What happened next? What county were you in? How long you been? Who, what, when, where, why? And then all of a sudden you go into a different area of practice. How do you have the knowledge? You just don't. You just don't. So it's sort of ludicrous when you see that happen. I forget what the quote was, but it was something kind of like, like the other attorneys reach out for us for help, and I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. Car wreck. I can't even see the name. Get it done. I wonder if I'm going blind or just the font on those big billboards is not visible. Lake Charles. $1 billion. Injured, over $1 billion recovered. Cool. Meanwhile, there's two guys that look like they're 30s. So either they're holding their picture from many years ago, or their moms and dads had a law firm and Or their uncle. Billions recovered. Billions. Oh, there's a casino. Black Rock Casino. New machines. Next exit. If my mother-in-law was in the car, she'd be like, Roger, can we stop? Huh. Live crawfish. Kind of cool, kind of in the middle of nowhere, and there's just like a little casino and a little bit of industry over here. Check ahead. That's the first time I've seen that. of that too. Looks like I'm getting some traffic. I think we need a Waffle House in Jupiter. Right in the farms. 24/7. I think it would be crowded. Welcome to Waffle House. Be like fun stuff as you're driving on a road trip, right? Like right off the highway, like I'm driving right there and all of a sudden there's a batting range, right? Or like a driving range where you could just like hit golf balls. Wouldn't that be nice? You're on a long trip, you say, there's another one, let me stop there. Baseball cages. Football toss. I don't think I told anyone when I went on my cruise recently, Royal Caribbean, I entered the quarterback challenge, and guess who won? Not only am I talented in the law, but I still got some skills from back in the day because yours truly won the quarterback challenge. Gave me a medal and everything. I was gonna do a video on it. I literally wore it around the ship. People were like, "Oh, you're that guy that won the quarterback challenge." I'm like, "Yes. Where do you want me to sign? Want me to sign your jersey or just write on your skin?" Oh, funny. It was fun. Can't even believe I won. I literally haven't thrown a football in, I don't know, at least 10 years. And it was like that guy that breaks his arm and then all of a sudden he can throw 106 miles an hour. It was almost funny. Like I hit every target. I was like, I had 12 pass attempts and 11 of them hit the bullseye. It was pretty cool. My wife was like, "Damn, you got skills." I was like, yeah, teenagers and a bunch of 20 and 30-year-old drunk guys. I tore it up, honey. I tore it up. But I did. They had another one the next day, and then people saw me off to the side, and they were like, Are you gonna do it again? You gonna do it again?" I'm like, once you win the quarterback challenge, you know, once you win one, you've won them all, you know. Brady and Montana, they call me every once in a while for pointers. I show them. I'm like, it's all the hips. It's the way you toss the ball. But it was fun. It actually put me in a good mood. I wore my dad was like, "What the hell are you wearing?" I was like, "I won the gold medal, Dad." He goes, "In what? Talking?" I said, "No, Dad, we ended the quarterback challenge. You should have come and watched it." He's like, "You won the quarterback challenge?" I go, "Skills, Dad, skills." I wish I had a driver. I gotta tell you, I'd be on the internet. I could probably do like a total like fun video, but I wish some of the clients that owe me the bucks would go, "Hey, let me just drive for you." But I'd have to worry about. They always make it look cool on the Lincoln Lawyer, like, oh, someone's down, and then they work for them and pay off their bill. But the reality is half of my clients don't have driver's licenses. They're suspended for DUI or failure to pay something or whatever. I organized the disorganized. Yep, I see my cattle. First set of cattle on the right. That brings me to Troy, Alabama. Long time ago, right before I went to University of Alabama, I went to Troy State University for one semester, play football, get out there, and I don't know, it's like the first or second week of camp. A bunch of the older teammates, right, the sophomore, junior, seniors, they take me and two other guys out to go cow tipping in Troy, Alabama. They said, "You ever been cow tipping?" I was like, "No idea what that is. I'm from New York." And they said, "Well, you got to do it. It's a rite of passage." And I said, "Okay, well, what do I got to do?" "You got to get down in the 3-point stance. Cow sleeps standing up, and you're gonna run. You got to run and hit it and hit the cow and see if you can knock them over." I'm thinking, a cow is pretty big. I don't know that you could knock a cow over. But, you know, young and dumb, I went out there with some of the other freshmen. And there's some cows, probably about 20 yards away. And they say, "We're getting you 3-point stance." I'm like, "Well, 20 yards away. Well, you'll catch them and, you know, get a running start." So I come out of my 3-point stance, go to run, and the cow just kind of run. I'm like, "Damn, that cow's fast." I didn't realize how fast the cow was. So, same thing with the other guy, but he was from the South. I would have thought he would have known better. He might have just been a little punchy. I don't know. Guy named Joe. And so we ended up kind of pairing off, him and I, and we're trying to get some cows, and cows quit moving. Didn't even touch a cow. And no, I love animals. I wouldn't hurt the animal. I don't think pushing a cow, I'm going to hurt him. Didn't think it then, don't think it now. Anyway, bunch of cows start sort of congregating together. So we're like, well, there's a bunch of cows, and you know, when they run, we'll end up getting one of them. You know, see if we can at least touch the cow. So we're kind of in this big, I want to call it a valley, because the cows, we were sort of down in the valley, and the cows started to become above us, almost like had to run uphill a little bit to get the cow, but it was a slight gradient. So we've tried, like, I don't know, probably 4 times, 5 times, and it's like 1 o'clock in the morning, and we're trespassing on somebody's land. Just kind of left that part of it out. So all of a sudden, a bunch of cows start moo, right? And just picture, I don't know, there's 20, 30, 40 cows, and they're in different spots, but they're starting to get together. And I was like, damn it, like, they're all getting close together. We can't even get to them, right? And they're kind of backing up. Well, all of a sudden, my teammate Joe goes, oh no. And I'm like, huh? And he goes, run, Foley. And he starts to run, and I'm looking, and like as he starts to run, he yells, bull. And there's bulls, and they got horns, and they start charging. Like, cow's fast, bull's fast, it's dark, I'm running. So now I'm running almost down the hill. I probably ran like a 3.5 that day. It was the fastest I've ever ran. Plus I was running down a hill. I mean, my legs were, I'm 18 years old. As fast as I could possibly run. And as we're running, there's 2 bulls, which I don't know why they weren't fighting with each other, but they decided to fight us. We're running full speed, and I'm catching up to Joe. And right as I'm about, like, I'm probably 3 yards behind him, but I said he started first. He was a pretty quick guy, though. All of a sudden, he falls backwards, and I can barely see him, and I end up sliding. There is a barbed wire fence in the middle of the pasture. You don't see that. And Joe literally had, it's about every 6 inches from like top to bottom, scarred and bleeding. I saw it the last second, slid, and the barbed wire kind of cut up my leg. And the first bull got to him and kind of like hit him up, and then he jumped up, and then there was a tree on the other side, and I don't know how high I jumped. I probably jumped, I jumped as high as, a basketball net, at least 10 feet, and grabbed onto a tree as the other bull, like, hitting my feet with its horns, and then like fell over the other side of the barbed wire. He's bleeding everywhere. I'm bleeding down my leg, but not too bad. I got a scar from it. And don't know what happened to everybody else, because they were chasing us. So the whole group of cows and the 2 bulls said somewhere in that 20 to 40 range, Maybe it was 30, maybe it was 20, but it was at least 20 cattle, and two of them were bulls, maybe even 3. And I'm gonna guess they were left out to mating. I learned a little bit about cows and bulls after that. Anyway, that's where my mind just led me, to Joe. I can't think of what Joe's last name was. Nice guy. I remember seeing him out years later, and he walks over, he's like, holy crap, Foley, what's up? And he's still, like, he had the marks on his face. He ran into the barbed wire, so at the top of his forehead, and then right about like his clavicle area, and like, he ran straight into a barbed wire fence. So he had scars. Not horrible, like he looked like the guy from Mask or anything, but like, he had some marks on him. Mine was faint because, like, I saw him hit it because he was ahead of me. That was one day that I'm thankful that I wasn't the fastest guy out there, or the guy with the head start, because I would have run right into that thing. Anyway, I ended up on crutches. What happened? I don't know. I think he was on crutches too. We both ended up on crutches, and the coach, of course, calls me in and, Foley, what are you doing? Like, nothing, sir. I was goofing around and slipped, and he was Southern gentleman, and he's like, you need to relax on the extracurricular activities. This isn't New York. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Anyway, I was only there for the first season, and then I transferred to Alabama. So I wonder what that would have been like. Troy was a nice campus. It was quiet, small town. It was such a culture shock for me. It was very difficult. So there's a fact that you may not know if anyone ever actually listens to this. Yeah, I was very scared. I didn't know anything about farm animals. Never been on a farm. Didn't know anything of that stuff. I was like a New York guy. Most of my friends were Guidos. Grew up in the hood. Like, there was no cows. I could run because when people had guns and knives, you learn to run fast. Or fight when they don't have the guns and the knives. But that herd, and it's funny just looking over at that herd. It brought me back to Troy. Funny stuff. Things we do in our youth. Things that still make you laugh. You're just too lazy or not adventuresome enough to go try stuff. Why don't you see if you can knock a bull over? Sure. Let me go do that right now. Yeah. I wasn't the brightest bulb. Then I met a girl named Karen, and not the kind of Karen that we talk about now, but a nice Southern girl. You know, I was 18, I think she was 19, and people would go hang out in a Walmart in Troy, Alabama. There's not all that much to do. I don't know if it was a Walmart, like a Kmart parking lot. So all like the teens and early 20s would go hang out in the parking lot. So me and get in a car and head over there. I think on this night we were in my car, so of course I got that big New York license plate, and see some girls and jump out and, hey, what's up, and talk to the girls and get a phone number. And then I remember being in that parking lot and some country guy, damn Yankee, that was the first time I ever heard that. Never heard that term. High school. And he said something. I got out like I was gonna fight him, and then I was like, country dude, like, and I had the whole football team with me, so it's not like, but I think he was just like, yeah, whatever, nothing happened, no fight happened. But I ended up going out with that girl a few times, and he got mad, and he tried to light my car on fire. Burned some of the interior, but luckily the car didn't go up. And I couldn't prove it or anything, but I knew what it was, and it was, I don't know, Troy was a kind of cool place. Every time I go that way, stop and wife the campus and showed her where my first semester of college was, before Alabama. And I don't know, like, everyone was pretty nice. It was just a culture shock to go from New York and my group of friends that, it's like just a different world, and I wasn't focused. But I think the campus was nice. I think the team was nice. Teammates were cool. Never really kept in touch with them. I was literally there for. I came in about, I don't know, a month or so before the season. Did some pretty good things in practice, but they already have their starting crew, and they were divisional at the time, and I wanted to see where I could play, and then I was like, I know I can play here. Not that they were bad. I mean, they were Division II champs, but everyone was going Alabama, Alabama. I didn't know anything about college football. Never even really watched a game. And then I was like, well, everyone says Alabama's the best. I called my dad up. I said, Dad, I want to go to Alabama. He goes, you're in Alabama. No, I want to go to University of Alabama. He goes, why? I want to go play football there. They say they're the best, so I want to go see how good I am. See if I can. My dad's son, it's better to be the big fish in the small pond than a fish in the big pond. I said, oh, Dad, you don't know what you're talking about. Dad, if I can play, I can play. If I want to play on Sundays, I need to go play with the best. Yep. And then that whole journey is another story. But Troy was a fun semester. But before I ended up on crutches for about 2 weeks because of that cow tip and that incident, and the coach was pissed at me. I did meet, I used it to my advantage, like, like my old ways. I was on crutches, and they had junior miss, right? So all the girls that won, like if you were Miss Hawaii, Miss Florida, Miss Georgia, they all got full scholarships to Troy State. So, Miss Florida, Miss Georgia, Miss this, that, Tennessee, whatever. They were like, hey, Roger, I'm going to hold your tray for you, because I couldn't get through the lunch line for the first 2 weeks. When I heard I wanted to milk it a little bit longer, but I wanted to play football too, so I milked it for 2 weeks, and I had a crush on this girl, Jody. She's on my Facebook. I found her on Facebook after, like, I don't know, 20 years, and what a crush. I was like, she was a volleyball player, and we just talked, never dated, just talked, but I had a huge crush, and she knew it, but she was a senior and I was a freshman, so I don't know how often that works out, but I hung out with her a few times, but I think I had the smooch one time, one kiss, but I was like a giddy schoolboy. But good memory from back in the day. Because I was on crutches and my car was a stick, I would ask Jody, hey, could you take me here? Could you take me there? And she would drive my car and drive me around campus and stuff. And still had to go to practice, obviously, but like I said, it was about 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks I was on crutches, and then got back to practice. Good memory, good memory of Troy State. Happened if I stayed there, focused, or it just wasn't a lot. Like, I was so used to going out, and I mean, I didn't drink and I didn't smoke, I didn't do any of those things, but I would always go out. I'd always go to a club, and they didn't even have a club in the whole town. It was the craziest thing to me. I was like, you don't have a club? There's no club? Like, where do you go out and meet people? They had some place, I forget, it was called the Porch or something. I wasn't even old enough to get in because you had to be, ID, and I didn't have any fake ID. So, I did have, one other experience in Troy, pretty funny. I used to race. I had a Mustang, so I'd go race my Mustang. One day I get pulled over, and me and an LX50, I had a GT50 Fox body, and the guy I'm racing has an LX, and I'm we get pulled over, no joke, on Highway 231. Now, listen, I'm not advocating, but I've done a lot of stuff in my life. There's no cars on the road. I mean, nothing. Like, Troy's in the middle of nowhere. So we're on the road, and we get pulled over, no joke, folks, 130 miles an hour. Right? We're not just doing the quarter mile, we're doing like the 2 mile, you know. So me and this guy get pulled over, and the officer, who's also in a Fox body Mustang, which is kind of funny. Back in the day, they used to have the Mustangs for cop cars for a little bit because they were fast, and pulls us over. And of course, I don't run because there's nowhere to go, and I just pull over. And so does the other guy. And the guy comes over, and somehow he recognizes me. And he goes, "You play football, don't you? You're at Troy State?" I said, "Yes." He goes, "Foley?" I go, "Yeah." And he'd already taken my license, and he goes, and he just walks back over to me like in not even a minute. He goes, "Good luck this weekend. Free pass, basically. Let me go." 130 miles an hour. And then I see the other guy who was not a player, and I'm sure he was getting a ticket or written up or whatever, that, you know, he was in trouble, towing his car, that kind of thing. And after that, I realized that small town, how many guys are from New York, you know, on the football team, kind of stand out like a sore thumb. So I decided in my time of brilliance that I was going to bring my car into the shop at the Ford dealer to get like an oil change or something, and I wanted to test drive one of the other Mustangs. So me and my teammate, we borrow a brand new Mustang GT that has the dealership name on it and like written on the window and all that, and we go I don't even know where we were, up, and I'm spinning that car around. Like, I don't do a lot of donuts, but I'm spinning around things sideways, back roads, country, like hauling butt through there. Run from the police, get chased by the police, and get back to the dealership, and we're gone probably 2 hours, maybe 2.5 hours. Like, salesman made a big mistake giving like two 18-year-olds, but because I had a Mustang, they gave me a Mustang. Tore that thing up. It was like mud all over it, running, chasing, cop cars chasing us. And I get back to the dealership, and they are screaming at me. The manager, "What is your problem, you stupid da da da?" Like, it gives me my car back, and he's like, "The police just called us, told us there was a car, da da da." I was like, "Huh?" He's like, "They're on their way." And basically the manager covered for us and said it wasn't one of their cars, it wasn't out. But he was so pissed. He was so pissed. Got a free oil change because they would always like hook up the team and stuff like that. So like, if you're a player, even if you weren't a superstar, I wasn't a starter or anything, they you know, hook up oil change and stuff like that, help you out. But this guy was pissed. There was mud all over the car, and I'm like beating the hell out of a brand new Mustang. I mean, literally chased in the back roads, but I could drive, and they're using like regular patrol cars in a small town. It wasn't like a trooper like on Highway 231. It was like local police, and they never got close enough to get a tag. I mean, we didn't even have a tag on the car, but it had the dealership stuff on the back window, and you know, like they do the little plate thing that goes around the plate, but there was no plate there. Or it might have been like a dealer plate or a temp tag, I don't remember. But super lucky I didn't get arrested in Troy. Super lucky. So when I hear of kids racing and doing stupid stuff, I often give a little discount, because I live that life. Very fortunate that never got into an accident, never harmed anyone. Now I realize the error. Back then it was fun and I can laugh about it, but in retrospect, I also realize how stupid and foolish, and how I really had no clue of the damage a vehicle can do. And I think about that because I've represented people in vehicular homicide cases, and it's scary and it's sad, and it's you need a track. You need to be on a track. There's just too many cars and too much chance, too much risk. One day, one of the guys, we had a DJ in the dorm. So the football team was like on level 3, whatever. We were on like the 3rd floor, the 2nd floor or 3rd floor. I forgot, so long ago. 2nd and 3rd floor. So the football team's on that floor. Then the regular resident, like, you know, if you're not on the football team, like a different, you know, like in the same building, but just a different floor. And there was a guy that was a DJ, and I don't know how he got on our floor because he didn't play football. But did he? Maybe he did. You know what? Maybe he did play football. I forget what he played. Maybe it was a kicker or something. But he was a DJ. So anyway, he was on our floor. And one day, you know, after the season was over, he was like, "Hey, I'm going to West Palm Beach, da da da." And I was like, "Well, you know what? My uncle and my cousins live in Jupiter." I was like, "Maybe I'll go with you. Maybe we'll go together." So anyway, I ended up driving. And back in college, you don't have 2 nickels to rub together. So as we're driving on 231 leaving Troy, one of those older Corvettes, you know, came around, like early 80s Corvette, and the guy's revving and we're revving and da da da. We only got $40 to get all the way to like Florida from Troy. So we start kind of racing this guy, and we saw, because there's no cars. Troy, like there was no, I don't know what it's like now, but there was no cars, like literally like no cars. And we pull over, and he's like, "You want to race for money?" And I was like, he's like, "Let's race for $50. And that back in the day, right? $50 was, you know, like $100 or $200. And I was thinking, like, I only got $40, like in my mind. I was like, I only got 40. He's like, "All right, let's do it." So me and this guy Dave, DJ Dave. So Dave's like, "Hey man, I'm 200 pounds. Like, I don't want to slow you down at all. That's a Corvette, bro." So he got out of the car. We set up a beginning and a you know, me and the Corvette kind of like here to, you know, there was a mile marker. So we kind of drove it once to show this from here to here. And then Dave played like the go guy, stood in the middle, like no one on the road, go. And anyway, we got to West Palm Beach with an extra $40 in our pocket, because the 5-speed Mustang smoked that, you know, 83 Corvette or whatever it was. Yeah, funny memories, man. Good stuff. Glad. I hate that I've lost touch with, you know, some of those guys, some of those teammates, Joe and DJ Dave, and I don't know, what the hell position did he play? I can't remember. It's like a line, maybe it was a line. I don't remember what he played. I think he did play. I don't remember. I just thought it was DJ Dave. I don't remember in what position he played. But there were just a couple guys that were cool guys, and a couple cool coaches over there, and just lost touch. Lost touch with a lot of my Alabama teammates too. Probably friends with about, you know, we had, you know, 110 guys on the team. So I probably have, I don't know, 35, 40 people, 35, 40 former teammates on Facebook. So that's kind of cool. And, you know, hey, happy birthday. Hey, how you doing? Hey, you know, happy birthday to your daughter. Hey, congratulations on your, you know, your child or your nephew or your grandson or granddaughter, that kind of stuff. And there's the reunions, but I only went to the 20-year reunion. I didn't go to the 10, and no, actually, I didn't go to the 10 or the 20. That's how old I am. I went to the 30. I can't even believe that. That's crazy. 30 years, a few years ago. But I didn't go to the 10 and the 20. Still talk to Coach Curry, though. Love that man. Like, love that man. Such a good person. Such a good person. If only he knew he could have beat Auburn if he put Foley in. I joke with him every time I call. If I leave a message, I'm like, the greatest walk-on to ever live, the 4.4443, on my good day, 4.35. You know, I never ran a 4.35. I would sprint with guys that ran 4.3, but I never beat anyone. I was 4.4 to 4.5. I could consistently run 4.4s and 4.5s, which was pretty good. Sometimes I watch the combine and I go, man, they're not that fast. Like you always think that it's so much faster. The linemen are so much faster. The linebackers are so much faster. But you know, running backs still run 4.4 to 4.7. That's the reality. But yeah, Coach Curry, love that guy. I would take any help for that man. Coach Stallings was a very nice man, and I, was under him for 1 year, but Coach Curry motivated me like no other. Maybe if I would have been there longer with Stallings. I mean, Stallings gave me a shot. He moved me up the depth chart, so can't say anything bad. Coach Stallings was a good guy. Ultimately my teammates won a national championship in '92. I watched it on television from my home with my dad and my girlfriend at the time and a friend. But I was so happy for my teammates. There were a couple of new guys on the team, but all the guys that I hard practices, all of them, juniors and seniors, and they got a national championship. They got that ring. And beautiful. And I keep in contact with a lot of those guys. Super nice guys. Got another bridge. Son of a gun. How many bridges do I gotta go over? When you got problems with heights. I could run over a bridge if there was a running thing and I'm okay. But driving in a car, I just don't do good. Son of a gun. What lane do I have to be in? West Lake. Ugh. I'm not talking because I'm quite frankly afraid. I hate bridges. My goodness, I hate bridges. You got me, God. You got me. I know you got me. I cannot even look. I can just stare at the damn ground. Can't even look. Like, literally can't turn my neck. It's like almost like paralyzed with fear. Yeah, this is one, like, this doesn't even have a running spot or anything. Like Key Biscayne, I used to run for boxing. In Iowa, used to run for boxing, go over a bridge. Okay with that. These bridges like this and this old looking bridge don't do good. Thank goodness. I literally couldn't even turn my neck. Like, you know how like when you want to look at mirrors and stuff, I always use my side mirrors, my rear view mirror. Can't do it. Not when I'm on a bridge. I'm like scared. I'm a big wimp when it comes to that. My wife says, if someone grabbed my purse and jumped up on the roof, I go, I just wait at the bottom. She's like, you wouldn't go up on the roof and get my purse? I go, nope. What goes up must come down, and I'll just hang out at the bottom like a watchdog. I am not. She's like, yeah, but the guys in the movies, they're jumping from. I go, honey, you know, I couldn't jump from like the futon for the couch to the, not the futon, but the whatever, the thing you put your feet on, to the couch. I'm not jumping anywhere. Good gracious. Jumping from building to building or rooftop to rooftop. I always watch that stuff and go, you got to be out of your mind. Guys in there, come on. Well, looks like Domino's delivery just stopped. I got the Platinum when I got my pickup truck, but I like the King Ranch. I like that leather and stuff. My buddy's mom in North Dakota. It was the first time I ever rode in the King Ranch, and I was like, holy cow.
Serious injury attorneys.
Everybody's the best. Everyone's gotten billions. Well, do yourself a favor. Don't get an attorney off of a billboard or recommended by a police officer. Someone's not watching late night TV in their favorite recliner because it's on the side of the road here. John Carter, English Parkway. .6 miles per gallon. That's just horrible. Pulling a damn little utility trailer with a golf cart. That's crazy. All those claims are just untruthful. Cemetery. Trailer kicking left, right, left, right. I guess that's for a car. Pretty unsteady. Riding in those things is cool, but that big loop of a vehicle.
off, right? George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, Ahmaud Arbery. The country's on fire, and I'm stuck in the house with white people. And Ahmaud Arbery put me over the edge, man. That one broke me. So, I was outside, standing by the fire pit, upset, drinking, wearing my I Matter t-shirt. And my wife comes outside. She comes over, she goes, babe, I know you're upset and all, about all the racism and all, I'm sorry, that racism, but the kids, they're little worried about you. They say, why mommy go upset? So, maybe you could go talk to them about the, racism. And I looked at her, I said, you know what, Alex, why don't you go talk to them about the racism? Because I can't explain things that are being done to me. I can't explain that. So why don't you go talk to them? Matter of fact, why don't you go talk to them about white supremacy and make sure we ain't raising a little Proud Boy up in this motherfucker? Why don't you go do that? I can make us some crepes.
And more? She said, didn't you know? Oh, anytime you go over a cattle guard, you have to put your thumbs up in the air. If you forget, you get hit. Said, screw this, man. I started playing my own games. Oh, yeah, just make them up as I go. What'd you do that for? Oh, what, didn't you know? Oh, yeah. Anytime you pass a southbound 1973 Chevy Nova with Idaho license plates, yeah, you're gonna scratch your ass or you get sucker punched in the face. I complain a lot, but people complain about some really weak stuff. I was talking to a friend of mine, got into a big blowout with his girlfriend over having to go buy her tampon. Something like my bank account, I want to spend at the selling bounce. Fucking some tech bankers is spelling out. Cattle raw for the beef, Macintosh laptop on the face, huh? I can tell how much she liked it, by the way, or what it is. It's something to me. It's something to me. How you doing?
Spark it up on Bob Marley's Tough Gun Radio on Sirius XM, Channel 9.
Chance of playing that piano, not a very good.
You said enough. You takes me out of my head. Can't get me out of my head. Silver spoon. Recorded at Hansa Studio.
The one, the only,
Yeah.
our OG homie.
OG home. Yeah. Sometimes we laugh, sometimes we cry, but I guess you know now. Baby, I took a half and she took a whole thing. Slow down. Baby, we took a trip, now we on your block and it's like a ghost town. Baby, where did these niggas be at when they say they pouring out this and all that? Tired of beefing you dumb, you can't even pay me enough to react. Been waking up in the crib and sometimes I don't even know it.
Rubbing niggas on me like this shit. When I rock the spot, put the flavor I got. I get plenty advanced, call me.
They use a stress reliever. That's why I'm from. They catching bullets like the best receivers. The chopper singing like had a Zan hoe. She be mother.